We love a good show just as much as the next person.
The plot, the characters, the twists and turns.
Sometimes it all needs a deeper discussion.
We're two babes just giving the people what they want on mystery,
Mystery,
murder,
Murder,
and
and
melanin.
Melanin.
Welcome back to Mystery, Murder, and Melanin. I'm your co-host, Yelly.
I'm your co-host, Harmony. Today we are doing something a bit different. We want to introduce ourselves to you all.
We realize that y'all may want to know a little bit about us beyond this podcast and get to know us a little deeper.
Yes, yes. So Yelly, why don't you tell us, where are you from?
So I'm from a really small little country town in Kentucky called Cadiz, Kentucky. But if you're from Kentucky, we don't really call our, towns by the city name. We'll identify them by county name. So I'm from Trigg County. I don't know if everybody else in the South does that, but that's how we do it.
No, I do not say I'm from Kane County.
It's a little thing. But you're not from the
No,
South, so
no, I'm not.
y'all do things a little different up in the North. What about you? Where are you from, Harmony?
I'm from Chicago suburbs of there's so many tiny suburbs all over the place. My family's from Elgin, Illinois. I was born and raised around the same area, but I would live in Algonquin, Illinois, and was raised in Algonquin, Illinois. It's like a northwest suburb outside of Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. I don't really know all of the suburbs really. I mean, I agree. Like
There's
you
too
said, there's so
many.
many. Like I've heard of some, but like, yeah, sometimes people name something. I'm like, I've never heard of that.
No, you've probably never heard of mine. Because it's such a big everyone who's listening, like, we're basically in Chicago. I'm outside of Chicago, you're in Chicago. I'm in Chicago all the time with the family. But a little bit about me. I'm Harmony Jackson. I'm 31 years old. I'm a nurse, a wife, and a mother. Again, I was born and raised in the suburbs of Chicago. I grew up in a very blended family with my mom, my stepdad. I have two sisters and three brothers. And so most of my adolescent years, it was just like me and my younger sister because the older siblings are so much older than us. Like my sister is 8 years older than me. My older sister is 8 years older than me, and then my brothers are older than her. So to me, like I'm one of the youngest, but I also feel like an oldest. Like I feel like an eldest in the house because I have a younger sister and it was just me and her really growing up in the house
Hmm.
in our like adolescent years, like middle school through high school. Like it was just me and her in the house. So I'm like very type A personality. I'm a Virgo in the house.
Okay.
What zodiac sign are you?
I'm a Pisces.
Pisces. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a lover girl.
I can see that. Lover Yelly. How old are you, Yelly?
I am 29. I'm about to be 30 next month.
Yay.
I'm about to hit the big
It's a
three
big
zero.
year.
It is a big year. I don't even feel like I feel like I'm still just like a young little adult,
Yeah.
fresh 21-year-old.
Yeah, same. I'm a fresh 21-year-old with three kids. It's crazy.
You know the joke? Well, I don't know if you've seen this online, but people are, that are like our age and they're like, we're at the age where we could, we can have kids and it's not going to be like a weird or any like outlandish thing because we're not like in high school or anything getting like pregnant as a teen. Um, but people are like, but no, I'm still just like a 29-year-old teenager. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I'm just a teenager with my three kids. Like I don't know how this happened.
but there were some things you said, and I was like, wait, we're kind of like a little bit similar. So,
Hmm.
I have three brothers and one sister, but I am the youngest. But my family is a blended family. Now, my
Hmm.
parents, they're together, so I'm like the only child between both of them. But they each
Hmm.
had like their own kids when they got together. So, like, my dad had my two oldest brothers and my sister, and then my mom had my youngest, oldest brother. So just like you, I have a big age gap in between them. So like my youngest oldest brother, he's like 7 years older than me. And then the
Hmm.
others are older than him. So
Right.
like when he graduated, I was in like sixth grade when he graduated.
Hmm.
So, it's like, okay, after that, I'm pretty much an only child in the
You
house.
dang near feel like an only child. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Because it's not like I was hanging out with any of them and like their friends or anything like that.
Hmm.
So it was kind of giving only child a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting that you do. Like you can resonate with that. Like we have a huge family, but like really we grew up kind of without them in the household.
Yeah. So I don't know what type
So
of
my
personality I have though, like
you
type
don't know what type
wise.
of person you have probably only child personality.
I don't know. I like to make lists and like charts and all that kind of stuff. So whatever personality that is.
You definitely give vibes that you were an only child or the youngest.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's not bad. To me, it's not bad. It's just different vibes.
hmm
Not bad at all. You're not bratty or anything like that.
That's good. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I wasn't
That's the only
raised in a
negative
bratty
thing I
way.
feel like.
Yeah.
But my stepdad has two sons. And then my stepdad and my mom came together and they have also my younger sister together. So that would be you.
hmm Okay.
And
Me and younger
then
sis unite.
yes. And then myself, I'm the only one with my dad. And then my mom has she brought into the marriage of course me and then my older sister and brother. And then my stepdad has my two older brothers. So very blended family.
hmm Yeah. The stories I could tell.
Yeah, seriously. So did you have any pets?
Yeah. So I have a pet right now. Her name is Luna. She's a dog. I've had her since she was 11 weeks old. She is now going to be 12 this year, I believe.
Oh,
12.
she's an old girl, yeah.
Yeah, she's getting up there, and I know this is crazy to think, but literally the last like year, I've been thinking like, what am I supposed to do with, like when she passes away? Like, what if I just come home one day and she's just like passed away? Like, who are you supposed to call? Like, I don't even
The
know.
vet, the vet.
I'm like,
She's
what am I
probably
supposed to
not gonna just
do?
drop dead. They usually start getting some like ailments which suck.
hmm
They usually
Yeah.
start like deteriorating. You're gonna be like, "Why are you sick?" You gotta
Yeah, I'll be
take her
like,
to
what
the
is
vet.
happening? Why aren't you eating? But yeah, she's
Yeah.
an old girl. And so she's been the only. Well, I did have a turtle briefly, for a few years ago. Somebody literally stole it off of this is when I was still living in Houston, which I'll have to go back into the different places I've
Yeah,
lived.
Houston. Where did Houston come from?
But I used to live in Houston two different times. Actually, I first moved when I was 19, back in
Wait a minute.
2014.
Yelly, you all over the place. Tell
I
me about
am.
who stole your damn turtle first,
This is how
and
I
then
normally
get back to
talk. I just
Houston.
start like 5,000 stories in one. So I was living in Houston. I had put my turtle like out on the little balcony and I was on the first floor. And I put it out on the balcony, which there is a
Damn.
railing. But I put it out there just because I was like, it probably wants to be out in the sun and everything, but it not like directly in the sun.
Hmm.
And then one day when I went out there, because you feed them like every few days, and it was gone. And I was like, what the heck? So I don't know if like some random little bad kid, snooping on people's balconies was like, ooh, this turtle, let me take it. Or if like a maintenance person took it.
Are you not supposed to have pets?
No, I could have pets because I had Luna. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they would have considered a turtle as something you should have like told them. But it was literally like one of those turtles that's like 2 inches long.
No, maintenance is not going to take your stuff without talking to you. My thing is like either a badass kid, like you said, or some Karen is like, why does she keep having this turtle outside? I need to take care of it.
Maybe. I never considered that because that was like before the time of Karens for real.
It would have been like maybe a Bethany, like a Karen's daughter. Like, no, the The turtle's been outside every day. I see it outside. Where is its owner? Neglecting it.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's probably no longer alive. So RIP BB. That was my turtle's name, like two-letter B's.
R.I.P.
And I also, growing up, had a dog named Prince. And we also had two rabbits. One was named Snowflake, one was named Juju. I had a cat named
Oh,
Sebastian.
oh, y'all had
Um,
hella pets.
I had a cat named Marley, who was a stray that just like, took in, kept her. And then there was another pet. Who am I thinking of? Oh, we also had a dog named Princess, but that was technically my brother's dog, but we all lived in the same house, so it was
Yeah.
my dog too. So we had Prince, Princess, Snowflake, Juju. I also had two chickens briefly when I was like really little. Like I told y'all,
Oh,
I'm from like a really country town. So like when we were in first grade, every first grade class hatched their own chickens in like an incubator. And then they like sold them once they hatched for like $1 to everybody. So I bought two. And I had a black one and a yellow one.
dang,
And
you bought
they were
two.
gorgeous.
You was balling.
And then I went to a Girl Scout camp. And when I came back, y'all, they were gone.
Your parents were like, out of here.
They said that they were outside doing housework and they had like my chickens were in like one of those like clear big totes. And they said they had took it outside and just like cracked the top a little while they were out there, and then they came inside to like take a break, and they think one of the like my neighbor's cat somehow got them because they were still like little. They weren't
What?
like old enough. They weren't big
Okay.
enough for like them to have fried them up and ate them while I was gone.
Dang.
I was like, no, but I'm gonna get
You know,
chickens
I
again.
only had one dog as a kid. Well, the only one that I really remember. There's like videos of some other little dog when I was a toddler, but our dog that we had, it was a Chow Chow. Her name was Moesha. And one time, yeah, I left for something and I come back and another dog is gone. And my parents say that she ran away. And my
you
mom never
know,
liked animals, so I still to this day don't know if she really ran away or if my mom like let her out because like really like dogs at this point should know how to come home. Like why are you guys running away? I don't understand why dogs run away.
yeah,
You go
I
on
think.
walks all the damn time. Bring your butt home.
Yeah, I think any parents that are listening to this, let us know. How are you out there just like taking your kids' pets and just getting rid of them one day when they're gone, or is something actually happening to them? Like, are you actually
Yeah,
telling the truth? We need to know because this is kind of sounding like a conspiracy.
I think it's a conspiracy. I need to confront my mom, I feel like.
So besides pets, like where else have you lived? I know you know where you said like you grew up. Have you like moved and around
Mhm.
anywhere?
Yes, so I went to college at Southern Illinois, go Salukis. And so after
Wait,
graduating with my
pause.
nursing
You
degree,
said go Salukis.
yes,
What is a Saluki?
yes, a Saluki is like a bougie looking dog. It's like
Okay.
got like a long nose, and it's got like long ears, and like it's like an Egyptian dog.
Okay. I never
Yeah,
heard
that's
of
the
that
history
before.
behind them.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'll send you a picture. Salukis. Yes, and that's where I met my husband. And so my birth father is from Nashville, Tennessee. He's not from Nashville, Tennessee. He's from Ripley, Tennessee, but he lives in Nashville. And so we moved down to Nashville for a few years. And I really liked Nashville. It's where I got my career started. I had worked at like Centennial Medical Center, if anyone knows Nashville at all. Um, we had a great time. Great weather, great energy. I have a lot of family down there too. One of my girlfriends too had moved down there around the same time. You know Liz.
Hmm.
So she had a boyfriend at the time down there. And so it was just a party. And then COVID happened. I got pregnant with my first daughter. And then I was like, okay, I need a little bit more family support. My dad was like not retiring anytime soon.
Hmm.
My mom was about to retire. My stepdad had retired. So I was like, let's go on back up north. My sister's up here. She has My older sister, she has three boys and a girl. And so, I'm super big on family and just wanting our kids to grow up around cousins and whatnot. And my husband, he's from Peoria, Illinois. And so we're just super close with family and everything. I definitely was not looking forward to coming back to winters in Illinois. I think
Yeah.
I was dreading that. But honestly, I feel like I've been adapting pretty well. I'm like, you just need to dress accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime I'm outside, I got my earmuffs on. I got my long coat on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a part of that gang. Gloves on. Turn the remote start on the car. Ready to go.
Okay, that's interesting. We keep having like little connections like while you're telling me like your background because although I'm not from Nashville, I spent a lot of time in Nashville because growing up, my grandparents had actually moved there because my grandfather, he used to work for the railroad. And
Mm,
so they were living in Nashville because I forgot what the railroad is. It's like the big one that's like C something X. I don't know if it's like CSX or something like that. But he used to
mm,
work for that one. So we would go to Nashville all the time, especially because it was only like an hour, maybe like an hour 15, hour and a half from where I'm from. So we'd be down there like me, my cousins, staying the night at, they were in an apartment. I don't even, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, why did they allow all of us to come down there and like cram in the apartment? And like my grandmother had, one of those couches like have the bed that pulls out of it, and we would all
mhm.
be on that bed. And like it was at least like five, six of us. Like, why were we all on this bed together? But yeah, we used to spend a
That's
lot of
what y'all
time down
supposed to
there.
do.
Yeah, we used to spend a lot of time in Nashville. When they used to live there until they moved back to the town next to where I'm from. Is called Hopkinsville. And so that's where like my mom grew up. That's where like my mom's side of the family is at. And so they moved back to literally the same area. They got like one of those like big trailers that are like the size of a house.
Double wide.
Yeah, and they just put it in literally the same place that like their old home used to be. And so that's where my grandmother is currently living right now. But yeah, I grew up going to Nashville a lot, from my little hometown. That was the largest city there. So, school shopping, time to go there, or Clarksville, Tennessee. Some of y'all may kind of have heard of that because that's near where
Mhm.
Fort Campbell is, if any of y'all are military people. Um,
So where's your grandma at?
so she's in
Where's your grandma?
Hopkinsville,
Okay.
Christian
Okay.
County. Y'all know county names.
Christian
Christian
County.
County. Um, that's very close to like Oak Grove, Fort Campbell, that area, if you were ever like around up there. But yeah, I grew up in Kentucky up until I was 19. I moved when I was 19 to Houston, Texas. At the time, I was in a relationship, you guys, and he got a job in Houston. And so I was in school at the time. So I was in a community college and I just finished up like online. And then I transferred to Texas Southern University after I had been living in Houston for like a year. So I graduated from TSU, Tigers. That's a HBCU. I really loved Houston. I really loved TSU. So I really enjoyed my time in Houston. Like I love Texas, honestly, and I've been saying like I'm gonna move back, and that's where I'm gonna buy my house and stuff. Um,
Okay.
so that's still a plan one day. But after I
I've never
graduated,
been to Houston.
really, you'll have to go.
We've just been to Dallas a lot. Like, my husband has my brother-in-law. We've got some cousins in Dallas, but I've never
Hmm.
been to Houston.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I hear a lot of good things about Dallas. I've only been to Dallas a couple times while I was like living in Houston, but not enough to where like I really got to like know the vibes and everything. But I know
Hmm.
a lot of people like love Dallas and say that it's like a really good like especially like up and coming city. I know it's already like a big city, but like in the past few
Hmm.
years it's been like more up and coming and everything like that. So I think I would like it if I go, just based on like little vlogs and stuff I've seen of people,
Hmm.
exploring and things like that. But yeah, after I graduated from TSU in 2017. I'm a radio, television, film major, you guys. So my job right now, well, my jobs ever since graduating college have only been in news. So I'm a news girl. And so after I graduated, I
Cool.
got into this like early career program with Cox Media Group. And because of that program, they sent me to Seattle, Washington, and that's where I had my first big girl job. And I lived in Seattle for about 3 years, working at a local
Wow.
station up there. Loved Seattle. That was like my first time being on the West Coast, my first time having to ride a plane, to go do my
Oh.
interview there. Like, it was a lot of firsts for Seattle, and I love it.
So you drove to Texas when you moved there?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, girl,
goodness
I had to drive
gracious.
and anytime I was going home to
Oh,
visit, I
yeah.
was driving every single time. I
Okay.
never flew home when I was living in Texas. But once I moved to Seattle, of course I had to, since I was like all the way on the other
Hmm.
side of the country. I stayed there for about 3 years, and I literally told myself when I moved to Seattle, I'm only staying here for 3 years. And so I stuck
Hmm.
to that, and then I got a new job at a different station, and I moved back to Texas because I was able to work remote. And so I moved back to Texas, and I was in Texas for about a year before I
Were
ended
you
up.
still with that same boyfriend when you went to Seattle?
No, no, no. We broke up like that
Okay.
first after like a year of being in Texas, girl. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. See ya.
we
Sayonara.
broke up. But a different boyfriend moved with me to Seattle, and then like a month into that, I
Okay.
broke up with him, and he
Oh,
brought his tail
dang.
on back to Texas.
Okay.
And
Sayonara.
yeah, I was
Okay.
like, So, then I moved here after a year of going back to Texas. I ended up moving here to Chicago because I got a new job here. And so I've been in Chicago now since May 2022. I'm not really sure how long I'm planning on staying, but I'm enjoying my time while I'm here. I do love this city. I don't like how cold it gets because
Yeah.
contrary to what people may believe, Seattle does get cold, but it does not get consistently cold like Chicago does. It's kind of a more mild type of like climate in Seattle. And it also does not just like pour down rain all the time. It's more of like a misty type rain. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that.
That is a mist, not a
Yeah,
rain.
like you can walk outside and just have a little raincoat on. You don't even need an umbrella. That's how they can tell that you're not from there. Because I always have my umbrella, and they're like, yeah, you're not really from Seattle if you are walking around with the umbrella. But yeah.
That's funny. Like, dang, I can't just want an umbrella. That's
Right.
crazy. So, my sister-in-law just moved over to Seattle. She like moved from
Ooh.
coast to coast. She was over in Delaware
Hmm.
and they just moved to Seattle.
Okay. I've
So,
never known anybody who's lived in like I've never met anyone who's like, "Oh yeah, I lived in Delaware." Like I would
yeah,
love to know what's going on in Delaware.
they loved it. They, raised their daughter who she goes to Penn State now.
Hmm.
And they loved it there. I had only visited this past May for her graduation was the first time I went there and first time I went to DC and like did I get to see I did not see the cap. Well, DC is the capital, but we went to like a museum. That was about it. I didn't get to see too much. We went to this big wall where we saw like a bunch of names. I can't remember what it was though.
Oh, is that the one with like the soldiers who passed away?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's called either, but I know what you're talking about though. I think it's like all soldiers, I think, and maybe some other people too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was soldiers. That's bad. I can't remember. Honestly, guys, I've had 3 kids. I still have kind of like the pregnancy brain. And it's late at night when we're recording right now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
my brain is gone.
That's how I've been feeling lately. Like all day today, I feel like I've just been reading text messages wrong, and I'm like, wait, sorry, I read that the wrong way. Like, I'm like, oh, I thought you were saying this. I thought you were saying this. Or like, I even said something yesterday, and then like the response I got, and I was like, why'd you say like that kind of thing? And then I was like, oh wait, I totally forgot what I had said. Because now your answer makes sense. But before I'm like, what?
No, I hate reading things the wrong way. The last main thing I feel like about myself is, I'm a mother of 3. I have a 4-year-old girl, a 2-year-old boy, and a 1-year-old boy. So again, that's kind of the craziness going on in my life right now. I call us, the Jackson Circus. And so, we have a lot of fun wherever we go. It's really loud everywhere we go, but we're loving it.
Yeah, I don't have any kids at this moment besides Luna. But you know, one day. One day I might have my own circus, but right now I'm just solo dolo. I go where the wind takes me, you guys. Like I could I'm talking to y'all talking about like going back to Texas. Who knows? I might end up in like Wyoming. And then y'all gonna be like, why is she in Wyoming? Are there
You
even any
might
black
end up
people in
in
Wyoming
DC.
besides her?
You need to go to Hawaii. That's where you should go for a minute.
See, I really want to go there to visit. And actually, one of my best friends is about to get stationed there. Um, so I might have a reason like, oh yeah, I'll know somebody like there at least.
Hmm.
So I would love to go visit. I don't know if I would move there, but I would definitely love to go visit at least one time. But I think it's expensive to live there, I think.
I think so too. I had thought about doing like a contract there. I
Hmm.
had did some
Like travel nursing contract.
yeah, I had did some travel nursing for a while when COVID started.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, where do I want to go that's like really hot and stuff and like, pretty. I had a girlfriend who
Yeah.
did take a contract out in Hawaii and she absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be like, would you go with everybody or just you?
Yeah, see, when I was doing contracts, I only had like one kid.
Hmm.
And I was going with her. I was bringing her, and then my sister also at the time was like, she was finishing her grad program, remotely, so she was traveling with me,
Hmm.
and
Oh,
then my
that's
husband
nice.
was just like visiting us. So now there's really no way of the whole family would come
Hmm.
if I ever were to take a contract, but like I'm so over bedside nursing, I can't ever see myself doing a contract that way.
Hmm.
Right now I am doing some contract work, but it's as like a sub school nurse. So, yeah, this past school year, I've been in the school district and I've really liked it. I've kind of been subbing in all the buildings from like elementary, middle school, and high school.
Hmm.
And I like it a lot. So
I feel
we'll
like
see
that would
if
be a fun job, like a school
yeah.
nurse. I loved our school nurse. Like I've never heard anybody say anything bad about a school nurse. Like
Hmm.
you just love the school nurse. I used to love when they would give us like, even though people be saying like, oh yeah, black people don't get lice, they would still give us the little lice checks. And I used to love the way the little like sticks would feel when I was in like elementary school getting those. Like, yes, lice checks my favorite day.
You are so funny, not lice day. I do remember getting checked for lice in school before. I'm like, there ain't no lice in my head, but
But thanks for, being
yeah,
inclusive.
thanks for checking.
But yeah,
No, yeah,
that's
there's a
interesting.
lot of things that you wouldn't think of. Like, it's 2025 now. Like, so many kids have inhalers, so many kids need EpiPens, so many kids
Hmm.
have dietary restrictions, so many kids are on, ADHD medication and other medications. And, we
Yeah.
give all those medications. There's children with diabetes. We monitor their blood sugar levels throughout the day. It's a lot.
Yeah. It sounds like it's a lot
Teachers,
because
any
yeah, I
emergencies
definitely
that happen, like there's some teachers with seizure activities, like,
yeah, I don't ever remember like my school nurse ever having to do all of that. I mean, maybe she did,
right,
obviously
right,
patient privacy, but
right. You don't because you in school you're just thinking of yourself, but like there's all these other things going on that nurse is worrying about.
yeah. But I'm sure that's, just a better environment compared to, obviously having to be in a hospital where you're
Mm,
having more like serious things happening constantly and people coming in from like super traumatic accidents and all that type of stuff. And it's like, okay, at least I'm dealing with kids. Yeah, maybe they have a little inhaler issue or something, but like you're not expecting to see anybody coming in from like a car accident.
yeah, knock on wood, but
Yeah,
yes.
knock on wood.
Definitely just like definitely less stress in that sense, but there's just
Hmm.
different stressors. But yeah, I'm bedside nursing is exhausting.
Yeah,
The demand on your body and the like workload. So yeah, I'm enjoying school nursing. We'll see if I continue with that.
that's how I feel about my job. I'm like, I am done with just the mental tax that it requires. Like I mentioned, I've been working in news ever since I graduated college, but currently I'm a social media producer for a national news station. And this is, other than my last job, I feel like this job I'm even more ingrained in having to deal with like the news directly. So I'm super desensitized to stuff. Like I can still empathize, obviously, with people and like what's going on, but like seeing
Mm-hmm,
stuff, it's like because you're working in an environment where as soon as something happens, you need to try to be the first one to like get it up. Like you don't have time to process. You're just like, okay, I gotta find this
mm-hmm,
image, I gotta write this copy, I gotta clip this
mm-hmm,
video and get it posted on all the social media accounts. Like, who cares if I'm looking on Getty or AP for a picture from a war and I'm seeing people like
mm-hmm,
lying on the ground dead? Like, you're
mm-hmm,
not phased by it because you're just like,
mm-hmm,
I gotta find a good picture, but obviously not. You can't use that kind of picture, but you're just like, I'm trying to find a
mm-hmm,
good picture. Let me scroll past all these dead people. Like, I'm super desensitized and I want to get out of news. At least direct news. I wouldn't mind maybe being on the corporate end marketing sales side of it because
mm-hmm.
that's where I started out at is in like the creative services. So I was doing more like promos, commercials, things like that. The lighthearted,
Yeah.
interesting stuff like that's dealing with the community. I love doing that kind of stuff. So I would love to get back into that side of news if I did stay in news, but I'm also trying to like pivot to like a different industry like altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Um just to see. But I guess I'm not really like passionate about like one particular area. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like I've been applying to stuff just kind of like, okay, this fits what I know how to do. Like I could be a social media manager for whatever company it needs to be. But it's
Yeah.
like, will I like being a social media manager for Ace Hardware? I don't know because I
Yeah.
don't know anything about hardware. But I'm just like in that phase of like, I want to make more money. I'm trying to get a higher title,
Mm-hmm.
but I also want to be with a company that I'm going to like the work that I'm doing.
Definitely. Yeah, you're getting older. You kind of want to check off all the boxes of where you're working at.
Hmm.
You don't just want anything. I mean, and you have the right to be a little picky now in the next job that you go into because you have some experience now under your belt.
Yeah.
And you can
So,
ask for what you want to ask for. And
hmm
I will say, ask for more because they can always counter, and you should
hmm
always counter because
yeah.
this last contract that I took, I threw out a high number just because, and they said yes to it, and I was like, what? Most
Dang, I
period.
maybe should have said a little higher than
Right.
that.
So
No, that's great.
definitely always ask for more because what they can always they just gonna counter at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah. That's what I try to tell some of my coworkers who are like younger than me. I'm like, yeah, make sure you negotiate. Cause I'm like, I'm gonna
Hmm.
negotiate. And I'm
Hmm.
like, cause the most that they'll say is like no, and they'll tell you where they can
Yeah.
go. And then you decide
Yeah.
then. But like just negotiate, cause I've done it. So I know the leaps
Hmm.
that you can go like from this
Yeah.
salary to this salary, all because you asked. So
Yeah.
and then something I've learned for anybody who's listening who's also kind of in like the job market search, you can negotiate beyond just salary as well.
Hmm.
Um, you can negotiate if you're you need a hybrid day, you need to work remote on a specific day, you can negotiate for that. There's a multitude of different things you can negotiate. Obviously, it depends on like the job and like what they're willing to do, but it doesn't have to be just salary.
That's good to know. That's true.
Mhm. Which I mean, jobs might be a little more picky now about the whole like remote and hybrid situation, but it never hurts to try. Like I said, they'll just say no if they're not going to do it.
I'm like, Mondays and Fridays can be hybrid days. Like, come on.
hmm I feel like that should be mandatory.
Oh,
Nobody
goodness.
wants to nobody wants to be there Monday and Friday.
Yeah. I feel like even these schools, like, what are we even really doing on Mondays and Fridays? Like, they can be half days.
Hmm. Yeah.
I've heard that some of these schools, my sisters, boys, like they're not giving out homework anymore. Like
Now,
they're
see,
like
I
they've
might would
already
say we need to still give some homework.
it's like they've already like who's doing the homework at home and stuff, or I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know the whole process behind it, but I remember her saying that like they're not really giving homework anymore. But I know with the school district that I'm working in at, they're giving homework.
Hmm.
And that's like middle school. So maybe it's an elementary school that they're not giving homework.
Hmm.
They
I
might
haven't
just be
heard
doing all the work in
that.
class. And there's study halls.
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense. Yeah. If there's still time set aside where they could work on it rather than take it home, because I mean, I'm sure there is some type of like scientific reasoning behind like not making a kid do the homework at home for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, kids have different lives at
Hmm
their homes. You never know what's going
hmm
on in somebody's house. So, could be some benefits.
So, Yelly, what currently are your passions right now?
Honestly, I'm a passionate I
Yeah.
say that I'm a passionate person, but I'm a passionate person when it comes to like my love.
hmm
I don't think I'm passionate about like an activity,
hmm
a hobby or anything like that type of passionate. There are things I like to do, but nothing that I don't think I mean, I can't think of anything that I feel like it's like I absolutely have to do this like every day or something.
hmm
I don't
I
know.
would say the same before I had children. Of course, I'm passionate about my children. I will like tackle a bear for my children and stuff. So, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, before like I'm not like crazy diehard fan over anything or like I can't live without this or that or will debate you about this and that. Like I'm all for women and children's rights for sure. Like I'll but like everyone should.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, to each his own. But starting off the new year, I'm definitely trying to put my health first because I'm like health is wealth. Like I ended the year really not pouring into myself, health wise, kind of getting lost in the sauce with raising children. So me and my husband, we've, started the gym membership and we're going and working out, eating better right now. It's only the first week of January, but we're gonna keep going strong. So trying to be passionate about like just healthy choices, everything in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
And then also our family non-for-profit, our Foundation. I'm pretty passionate about that, where we feed the community and also do like just community enrichment activities, events that we put on just to give back to the community. And so I'm really passionate about that now. So I guess I do have some passions that I've been partaking in lately or growing in.
Yeah, I feel like I guess I have one passion, and it's probably gonna sound off-putting when I first say it, but I'm gonna say money, but not just like money in like the ooh, give me money, but like finances and being like
Mhm,
financially stable.
mhm.
I love like me and my dad. So my dad is my parent that I can talk to about like a ton of money stuff. Like both of my parents have taught me like a lot of like good smarts when it comes to finances growing up, but like me and my dad, we like really be locked in our conversations. He'll be like, "All
Okay.
right, tell me where is your savings account right now? What are you trying to get to? How can we get to it?" Like we have those kind of
Mhm.
conversations, and so I'm super passionate. I would say about finances because I'm like, here's my budget. Let me stick to my budget. I'm getting groceries. What's my grocery budget? Let me plan out my meals so I know exactly what I'm getting, so I don't just go in the store and just buy like whatever I'm just seeing.
That's
And,
so
I
good.
have like savings goals. So I met my savings goal for 2024. So I have a new savings goal for 2025,
Okay, girl.
trying to pay off debts like I want to pay off my
Mm-hmm.
car. Like I create this is what I said
Mm-hmm.
when I like at the beginning when I'm like, I make charts and lists. Like I have all
Mm-hmm.
types of like charts of like, okay, here's my current car debt. This is the payment I make every month. How much more do I need to make each month if I want to get it paid off by the end of this year?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd be writing all that kind of stuff down. So I look at that stuff like every single day. So I would say
I'm
that's
like
something I
that too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel you in that. I'm definitely like that's the type A personality. I have lists always going. Um, Me and my friend were supposed to have like a little party together because we paid off our student loans. Like
Mhm.
I got out of school and I wanted to knock that out. Granted,
Girl,
mine
me
was not
too.
that much. Mine was only like 25,
Mhm.
but I know people have a lot, but like my husband probably had less than me and he just like took the chill route with it and was hoping that it got like forgiven. But I'm like, let's knock that out. I'm about to knock out my
Yeah.
car this year. I feel you. Like I'd rather have less debt because we're always gonna acquire debt. So it's like knock out what you can
Yeah.
without straining or killing yourself
Mhm.
doing it, of course. Like
Yeah.
let's stop and enjoy the roses, stop and enjoy our time while
Yeah.
we're here. And like that's another thing too, trying to focus on like just being present.
Mhm.
Again, I feel like with being type A, like we put unnecessary deadlines on ourselves at times.
Yeah.
And it's really hard when you have kids trying to put these deadlines on yourself when like you are kind of out of control with a lot of things going on. So
Mhm.
me trying not to put deadlines on myself or like time limits on myself on like trying to get to point A from point A to point B, like it's not the end of the world if I don't get somewhere on time.
Mhm.
Sorry, y'all. Brittany's not gonna be on time. Sorry, y'all. Harmony's not gonna be on time in 2025. I cannot.
No, I feel you
But
on
yeah.
that. That's something I need to get better with too. I'm trying to be more like having experiences, which I make sure I budget into my budget. Like, okay, here's my
Period.
personal budget, and here's my like,
Mm-hmm.
I literally have like a personal budget and then like a food and entertainment, which is like if my
Mm-hmm.
friends want to go out to eat and I'm gonna go with them, I have a little budget for that. I've
As
got
you
like
should.
miscellaneous budget, like just any other little things arise. So I definitely want to make sure I have more like experiences this year. I want to travel more. I want to try more new things. And I was recently in a relationship, and obviously how we can be when we're in relationships, we like spend a lot of time with that person and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I feel like I just need to kind of like try new things and kind of get out there because I kind of stopped doing that
Mm-hmm.
while in the relationship. And so there are things I'm trying to do this year, solo or with like my friends. um but I just want to like make sure that I am experiencing things and not waiting on other people as well to like, you know,
Yeah.
like like I booked me a little weekend trip to New York. Like I'm gonna go by myself. I
Oh,
have some friends
yes.
there. I do have friends there, but like I'm gonna just go by myself. And it was just like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not go? Like I love
Yeah.
New York. Why not go? So I'm trying to do more things like that. I want to take more like weekend trips. They don't have to be flights, but just like
Mm,
going somewhere, just experiencing life. So I can look back at this year and be like, wow, I did so much this year. Like,
I
and it
think
wasn't
that's a
like
good
all
plan.
crazy stuff.
I think that's a great plan. Traveling and eating some good food. I
Yeah.
like that for
Two
you.
favorite.
I
Two
like it
favorite
for
things.
myself too.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, girl, go out there and travel. Get somebody to babysit the kids. Y'all take
Oh
a little
yes, girl.
vacation, a little girls trip, or
Yes, girl. I have to. I cannot. So me and hubby are going on our anniversary trip soon, and
hmm
then I definitely do a girls trip later on. Like a three
yeah,
night, gotta get away,
yeah. I've
reset,
already got some trips.
recalibrate.
hmm It's much needed. Like, I think everybody should make a goal to try to take a trip. It doesn't even have to be a trip like out the country or anywhere super
Hmm.
far away, but like just somewhere that's like not where you're at.
Yeah.
It could be an hour, 2 hours away, but I think everyone should
Yeah.
just kind of get out their normal comfort zone and just go somewhere else, even if it's just for a night. You're just staying there for a night, the day and the nighttime and leave the next day.
Hmm.
Like, try to do something different.
Yes. So let's give that to our audience. You guys, try and take a trip this year. Try and just disconnect. Take off from work. No work, nothing. Pour into yourself. Love yourself. Get some good food.
Mm-hmm.
See some good views.
Yeah. Just live life. I'm big on
Live life
that
to
this
the
year. Live
live life to the
life.
fullest and not
Hmm.
just on your phone.
Yeah. I had posted this thing on my story. I think it was today or yesterday, but it was basically like everybody has a clock, but you don't know you don't know where your clock's at. Like you don't know when your time is out, you
Mm-hmm.
know? It could be 30 minutes from now, 3 months from now, 3 years from now, 30 years from now. You don't know when your clock runs out. So
Mm-hmm.
like enjoy the moment. Like enjoy what you can right now. So I understand though that like some people, especially if they have like financial problems, can't really do that much. But even if you have to stay in wherever you live, like stay somewhere else though. Don't stay at home. Even if you got to book like a little hotel that's just like somewhere down the road, like
And
have a
you
night
have to
in,
budget
have a
for
cellular
that.
night. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to budget for these type of trips. Start saving.
Hmm.
Whatever you're spending crazy money on, start taking from that and put into your trip fund.
Yeah. Definitely possible. But yeah, I have so many goals this year. Like one of my other goals this year, and I need to do some more research. I want to become fluent in Spanish. Well, so when I was living in Houston, I was learning Spanish because I have friends who are Hispanic, and then I was working in an area where the area was primarily Hispanic. So everybody that I was having to help and stuff were
Hmm.
I would say like 99% Hispanic. And so my
Oh
friends
yeah.
were like trying to teach me things because it's just easier for me to just speak to you in Spanish than for like
Hmm.
you to try to speak to me in English.
Hmm.
And I was enjoying learning Spanish. But then once I moved away, I wasn't really around that many Hispanic people like when I was in Seattle and even like here, even though I know there's a huge Hispanic population here, I'm not really around anybody. So, I want to become fluent in Spanish. That's like a really big goal of mine. It's been one of my goals ever since I moved to Houston, and so I'm hoping this year can be the year that I like actually make it happen because I would love to be out here just like
Me
switching it
too.
up.
I always wanted to learn Spanish. I've taken it forever. I catch on to it when I'm doing it. Like I've done like Rosetta Stone a few times. Like my my nursing school, we went to Costa Rica and they gave us Rosetta Stone to learn beforehand. And I
Hmm.
took Spanish all through like high school and like 2 years in college. And then like being a nurse, we work with lots of well, my area has a lot. I'm in a large like Hispanic area also.
Hmm.
We see a lot of like Hispanic and like Indian or the different languages and tongues
Hmm.
that I would speak and like I feel like when you are in it a lot and like immersed in it, like you pick up a lot of different phrases, especially like if you're working, there's kind of like the
Yeah.
same phrases you might be using and stuff,
Hmm.
and you can like communicate pretty well in that setting if you're in like the same setting. So like yeah, I would be able to communicate with my patients fine. And
Hmm.
then we also would have like a little like iPad on wheels and we could have like a translator like on the screen for us.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. But yeah, I hope you learn Spanish. Me and my sister had wanted to take a sign language class. We want to learn sign language, ASL.
Hmm. Yeah, I've thought about that too because one time I think it was like when I first had moved to Chicago, like I've worked customer service jobs like, when I was like younger and in my younger adulthood. And you've come across people who maybe are deaf and would benefit from you knowing ASL, but like they
Yeah.
don't really teach, they don't teach that. And when I had first moved here, I was out walking around downtown because I used to live in Streeterville when I first moved to Chicago. And a man cat came up to me and he was deaf and he was trying to speak to me and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I really wish I freaking knew ASL right now." Like I
Yeah.
was trying to speak slow enough because I know sometimes people who are hard of hearing can like read your lips. So I was trying to
Hmm.
speak like slow enough and just trying to like because he was also trying to kind of speak a little bit. And I was like, man, I really need to learn at least some basics. Like even if I'm not becoming like a super fluent ASL speaker, like at least the basics, I could be like, how
Yeah.
can I help you? Or like, what do you need? And understand
Yeah.
what they're asking me at least. Like, I felt so
Yeah.
bad. I was like, ah,
I feel bad too when somebody's like trying to talk to you and you don't understand anything. Like, I'm sorry. I
yeah.
no comprende.
But that's really good that you're starting them like young. I really wish that that was something that was. I know we're all over the place with the topics we're talking about, y'all. But like I really wish that that was something that America really prioritized was like learning another language. I know like other countries they prioritize that, like starting you off young. And I know some schools in America do it because like one of my best friends, her child, she's in like a Montessori school, so they teach them like other types of it, like advanced type things. But yeah, I wish that learning a language was prioritized here in America because I would love to be a polyglot. I would love to
Me
know like
too.
a million languages. I've been making friends like over the years that speak different languages, and I'd be trying to like, they'll teach me like a little bit, but obviously not enough for me to just be like out here having a full blown conversation. I'm just like, man, I would know so many languages if they had been able to teach me like fluently.
I agree. We need to teach it a better way because I've been in Spanish since I was a kid in school and I should be bilingual by now.
Yeah, I agree.
Something's not
I
working.
agree. You should be. So then I
Anywho,
can come
don't
to
let me
you and
get
be
on this.
like,
Don't let me get on the school system and how we're teaching. Anyways, I think that was a good introduction to us. I hope you guys feel like you know us a little bit more. Leave us any questions you might have about us.
yes, I definitely enjoyed this episode because, like, I learned a little bit about harmony that I did not know. And, like, we've got some
Yeah.
things that relate and crisscross and,
Yeah.
correlate and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, like she said, leave us any questions you have or let us know, like, what some of your goals are for this year, or
Mhm.
just comment on anything that we were discussing if y'all can relate to us about, like, just our upbringing in our life as well.
Yeah, so if you like what you heard, please come back, press that follow button, and come back for more mystery, murder, and melanin. I'm your co-host, Harmony.
And I'm your co host, Yelly.
Bye.
Bye.